Why do some people hate fountain pens? The fountain pen and ink debate. There are those who absolutely abhor the idea of using a fountain pen and ink. Many again are there who have never even used a fountain pen? Never. And then there are people like us who are wedded to them, to whom writing with any lesser instrument is akin to sacrilege. Needless to say, the debate for and against throws up interesting points from both sides. Here is a sampler. Messy. Those against. Yuck. It's so damn messy. I mean, who wants inks all over your fingers? Even filling them from the ink bottles is an affront to clean fingers. Besides, them damn things leak. Imagine those strange shirt pockets. Well, that's why I hate fountain pens. And you can't even board a flight with them, as the change in air pressure does strange things to them. Those in favor. Part of the romance of the fountain pen has much to do with those inked fingers. Besides, to many of us, they are sheer nostalgia of a time when life was more laid back, when those ink strains were an integral part of school, of growing up. A leaking pen is a thing of the past. They seldom leak these days, especially with converters and cartridges becoming the norm. As for taking a flight with your pen ensconced in your pocket, you can, provided of course you take some basic precautions. I frequently fly, with fountain pen firmly in place, and no, they have never failed me. Expensive. Those against. Fountain pens are expensive. When we can make do with a use and throw ballpoint, why should we even consider investing in one? Those in favor. I like the way you use the word, investing. For a fountain pen is an investment. Investment, because you can bequeath one to your children. Investment, because it is the most sustainable writing option. Your use and throw pens are mere plastic pollutants. Your mobile devices guzzle batteries with huge carbon footprints. Investment, because your fountain pen helps you retain knowledge better as you write. Fragile. Those against. The nibs tend to break if you don't know just how much pressure to put. And if the pens fall, they shatter. Isn't that inconsistent with today's fast-paced world? Those in favor. Now, is it the fountain pen's fault that you can't hold it properly? Don't you have to learn how to grip a cricket or a baseball bat too? Doesn't one learn these things as a kid? As for the shattering part, taking care of one's possessions was also a lesson that was once imparted in one's childhood. We would all do well to reinstall these values, especially considering the tinsel nature of our existence these days. Learning curve. Those against. But it takes a hell of a lot of time to perfect the art of writing with a fountain pen and ink. In these hasty days, who has the time, or the inclination? Those in favor. Hasty days, you say? Yes, we are all running, often without a clue about the destination, and that is why we need the fountain pen, to opt out of the rat race, to take charge of our lives, to think, contemplate, and process what we write instead of letting autocorrect do the job for us. As for inclination, get it, before AI turns us all into an inconvenient truth. Slow. Those against. Writing with a fountain pen and ink is a terribly slow affair. Won't I get left behind with my ink bottle and pen even as a dunce with a handheld steals the march? Those in favor. A fountain pen, like your analog watch, is a tool often used to deliberately slow one down, that one may enjoy the journey as opposed to hurtling towards the destination. The thought that originates in the mind is processed in the soul, and is then transferred through the hand into the pen that creates the final imprint on the paper. It is a journey in itself, a journey of self-discovery, to be savored and cherished as thoughts and moments frozen in time. Slow down. Enjoy the process. Plant the seeds for posterity. The fruits will come in their own time. Limited usability. Those against. It is nearly impossible to write with a fountain pen on all surfaces. Some papers bleed, while others are scratchy and coarse. It is said different nibs are needed, and then there are the inks, some wet, while others dry, further complicating things. Those in favor. Are all cars made to run on all surfaces? Do diesel-fueled cars run on aviation fuel? Similar is the case of pens and paper and ink. The joy is in pairing the right pen with the right ink to write on the right paper. For many, this act in itself is pleasure incarnate. Ecstasy is not an everyday emotion. Seldom does it explode, propelling one to higher orbits. Remember the adage, if diamonds were pebbles. Care. Those against. A fountain pen needs constant care. Inks must be drained when not in use. The innards must be cleaned before inks are changed. Constant attention is needed for the upkeep, often requiring sustained maintenance. Those in favor. A fountain pen is a relationship that often spans generations. It is not a disposable use and throw, cheap product that is discarded at will. Naturally they need, like relationships, to be worked upon, often with tender loving care. Isn't that what love is all about? After all, our pens are, more often than not, our closest, most loved, trusted and cherished companions. Pick up a fountain pen. Pour your heart out even as you partake in the dance of the nib on paper. Remember, you only live once. Smell the ink of your thoughts. Celebrate life.